Hi, it's Dave T, and today this is a test in many ways. We've just got to pick up the camper van, and it's a test because it's the first trip out since having the Roma lithium seat-based battery installed. Check out the video for that. And the other thing is, from a caravanning point of view, because we've caravaned for 20 odd years, swipe the card, because we caravaned for 20 odd years, we're kind of doing things today completely back to front from how we would have done normally with the caravan. We're only going for one night, again something we wouldn't have ever done with the caravan. We'd have already gone for 2 or 3 nights at least. I'll just go and pick up the van and then I'll explain what I mean by back to front. Right, so while Deb puts the car into the van's bay at storage yard, I'll explain what I mean by back to front in terms of what we're doing today. Basically, if we go away in the caravan normally, because you've got a big caravan on the back, you don't want to really go anywhere other than from where you are to the site. So because of that, if we were going away for one day or one night, we would pick up the van, drive to the site, set up. We would then just generally kind of stay at the site, because by that time, thank you, because by that time, Deb's trying to get in.
Don't tell them.
We need to put a step on that side. Just watch your hand in that door. Don't let that door swing.
I don't have my fingers left, will I? I've got this. Okay. Oh, no, I haven't.
Back in a mo. Right, so now that we've hoisted my wife aboard, let me explain what I mean. Normally, with caravan and campsites, you can't actually check in until kind of like 12ish or something like that a lot of the time. So generally we would end up getting to a campsite 12, 1 o'clock, something like that, set up, and then it's kind of halfway through the afternoon, so we might go out and do something, or you'd end up just kind of spending the afternoon at the campsite, spend the night there, and then obviously the following day then you would do something, which is why we would tend to never go away for a single night. Our theory, from watching other people with campervans and motorhomes, particularly abroad, is to kind of do it the other way round, because we always debated, it's like, well, how do you go and do anything when you've got the campervan on the motorhome and you've got to like unpitch it? So basically our plan today is we're heading to Southwold on the east coast, and we're going straight to Southwold itself, kind of to the pier, and spend the day there, get lunch and stuff. Then we're heading back to a CL site that's about 10-15 minutes away from Southwold. We'll pitch at the site there. During the day we're going to grab some shopping for something to have for tea and for breakfast the following morning, and then the following day we're heading back. That's the plan. That's our logic in terms of doing caravanning back to front for campervanning. And time will tell whether it was a really stupid idea or that's the way indeed you're supposed to do it.
No, we're doing 50. Our results.
So I've just arrived, it's 10 to 12. We're parked literally about, I don't know, 50 to 100 yards up from Southwold Pier. There's probably more space further along. We just grabbed the first spot we found. So now, got a few hours looking around Southwold. Lovely little seaside town on the east coast, very kind of old and quaint. We're gonna have a wander around here. We have been here before. And get some fish and chips. Well, you certainly get your money's worth in terms of the fish and chips. Massive portions. Southwold Pier, and there's this arcade section, and it's a whole lot of really weird games. So this is the mobility masterclass, where you have to use the Zimmer frame to get across the traffic. But the traffic is actually on here, and there's a video camera, which is what you're seeing on the screen here. So it's literally the same van. So it's absolutely freezing cold. Not quite so bad now because it's come inland and there's a bit less wind. But just walking around Southwold Harbour, parked in the harbour car park, literally bang slap next to another Adria twin. Not just an Adria twin, but a 640 SLB. Same as ours, but 2 years younger. But other than that, enjoy a little stroll before we get too cold, and head back for the van. And we've got prices of food for this evening and breakfast tomorrow. So we've just come back from Southwold Harbour and kind of coming through Southwold Town Centre, where there's roadworks and diversions all over the place, and the guy was parked on a corner where I'm pretty sure he was on a double yellow line. Bit tight getting through, but it just goes to show actually, I mean, the van's longer than my Land Cruiser, but it's not that much wider, so you can take them most places. So good experience, not that stressful, but we're parked up close to the town centre now, so we're going to go and grab some food for this evening's meal and breakfast. So I've got some sunglasses because I forgot to bring mine with me, and the sun is very low in the sky this time of year, so that's not a great idea. And also some stir fry for tea tonight, and 4 Southwold traditional sausages for breakfast in the morning, along with some eggs and stuff. So now we've just got to find our way out of Southwold and back to the campsite. So it's now Saturday morning. Had a reasonable night's sleep, but it was quite an eventful evening last night. First major incident was that we are now officially members of the Adria Twin Owners group for people who have had their entire water tanks dump overnight. Basically, there's a thermostatic frost valve which detects if the temperature's under a certain point, basically opens the valve and dumps your entire water supply. We didn't realise it until we went to do the washing up about sort of 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that. At which point we're all set up here. There's other people on site. The camper van's levelled, so I didn't want to start driving all the way across the site to hook up the hose. We do have an emergency water carrier. It's a 12-litre carrier, so I went back and forwards about half a dozen or so times. Freezing cold hands because we didn't have a spout for the carrier, so that's something on the to buy list. So that was problem number one. Once we'd finally got the valve reset and the tank refilled to about 50%, tried to settle down then, and then it turns out we've got a leak on the tap in the bathroom. I think it's actually leaking from the tap assembly, so I might need to fit a new tap. I'll check if that's covered under warranty. If not, they're about, checked online, they're about 80 quid. They're awkward to change, but not the end of the world. And then the final thing, just to cap it all, I'm not sure why, maybe it's because I suspect I might have left the back door slightly open, something like that, but for whatever reason, once we were inside the van, we couldn't actually then lock the doors. No big deal, all part of the journey. Now gonna set up barbecue outside because we're gonna have those Southwold sausages we purchased yesterday. I'm going to have those for breakfast, and hopefully a leisurely, we haven't got much to pack up, so a leisurely kind of pack up and try and stay here till about kind of 11 or so if we're allowed to, and then head home. After all the drama of last night, this is why we got a camper van, because I was just saying to Deb, February 15th, there's no way in hell with the caravan we would have come out. We've had the caravans for 20 years and we wouldn't have come out, certainly not for a one night stop. Had a lovely day in Southwold yesterday, didn't have a problem particularly kind of driving around and finding different parking spots, even though that is quite an old town with narrow roads and stuff. And now it's not raining, which is good, but it's freezing cold. But outside on cooking on the new Cadak stove, we've swapped our old Cadak barbecue for the Cadak two cook free, kind of crazy stupid name. There'll be a review of that shortly, so I'll put a link on the video. But no, this is what we wanted to do, to actually get out more, because if we had come and run a caravan, we wouldn't have got the barbecue out, we'd have sat inside cooking inside the caravan. But now we could do that now even, but in the camper van. But we've come outside, doing a bit of cooking outside for breakfast with some Southwold sausages, and on this lovely site, it's Fisher's Field CL site. I've done a video of this 2 years ago now. Lovely site, electric hookup, hard standings, quite isolated. It's really quiet around here. You're not far from the coast and stuff. So recommend this site. I'll link to the video. I'm going to crack on, get some more video done and get the breakfast, and then see how the day unfolds. So back now, it's 1:30, just come up on 1:30 on the Saturday. Pleasant journey back, getting used. If anyone knows why my van beeps like that every now and then, just let me know, because it does that. Anyway, so really nice weekend, good test journey, bit of drama. Obviously you had a problem with the water, problem with the tap that needs fixing. The doors, as I suspected, it was just at the back door when we were faffing around with all the water at night, and the door hadn't quite shut, which meant the central locking wouldn't activate. So no big issue there. Getting used to driving the van now. It's quite pretty easy driving. It's about, I think, about 60 miles each way, something like that. But most importantly, prove the kind of concept of when we go somewhere, actually drive and either view stuff along the way, and this is completely contrary to how you'd ever do it in a caravan. So if there's anyone of you watching that's got a caravan and interested in getting a camper van or a motorhome, and kind of thinking, well, how would that work, perhaps thinking of switching over, then the way I think it works and what we've seen works, and certainly seems true of today, is you have the journey, and on a longer journey maybe stop along the way and see things along the way, because it's much easier to just kind of, oh, that's an interesting, you know, lake or whatever, and just pull in and have a look. Along the way, go to somewhere, museum, coast, whatever it is, and then at the tail end of the day, that's when you go to the site and pitch. And then in this instance, it was just one night, we came back, but this morning we had a leisurely breakfast and stuff. We were off site by about 11, but we did lay in a little bit. But then had we been on a longer holiday, we could press on to the next site, and along the way see different bits and pieces and check onto the site and so on. So I think that's what we're going to try and do. We've got a bigger trip planned in probably about 5 weeks now, 6 weeks, something like that, in Easter for Scotland. So we're going to do I think it's 10-day tour around Scotland, not the usual one everyone does, North Coast. We're going down the south west of Scotland, Kintyre, and basically that's the idea. We're stopping at 1 or 2 sites for 2 nights. Everything else is one night stops. So hope you've enjoyed this video, found it interesting or helpful. If you have, then please do hit that like button, and if you're interested in seeing other videos I make, then please do consider subscribing to my channel. But most of all, thanks for watching. Got a van to pack up now.